Welcome to the Altcoin Hour, your weekly alpha. Yeah, we breaking down the charts, flipping bags, playing smart, from the dips to the moon shots, connecting all the dots. Let's get it. Altcoin Hour.
All right. Oh, everybody's doing very, very well today. What happened to, I think you guys can see me. I think so. I hope so. Welcome to the show. Another hand clap. We got a lot to go. Excuse me. I think that was too loud. We have a lot to go through today. The one thing that really shocked me was the Google paper that came out. We're going to talk about the quantum threat. A lot of revisions when it comes to the time frame, when it comes to the vectors. Let me cut this music down. I think I wasn't really shocked by this, when I saw it, but the time frame, the actual time frame, we're talking just a couple of years versus 20 years down the road. So I don't know what happened, what they missed, previously in their, investigations, in their work when it comes to, post quantum, protection, when it comes to Bitcoin and ETH. But the actual paper is very scary, especially if you're holding some ETH, if you're holding Bitcoin in general, the Satoshi wallet, don't look good. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into a lot of information concerning how this Iran war, which is costing almost $40 billion right now. Okay, we're looking at I think it's 36. Let me refresh this. 36 billion. Going on 37 billion. I think we're going to get to 40 billion. And unless we get some, everything chills out geopolitically, we're going to be looking at the market as well, looking at TVO. Global TVO looks pretty decent, even in the midst of what's going on. It's even. It's not in the red. You have some, sectors that are bleeding right now. We're going to talk about the altcoin effect, just geopolitics, the Iran war. It is having an effect on the crypto market. We'll get into that here in a little bit, but there's so much that I want to get into today. So, I hope everybody's doing well. We're going to get into a lot of the points that actually point to how geopolitics is basically crushing crypto right now. And I'm talking volume. I'm talking Iran's their own local ecosystem, their own crypto situation they have in Iran, which is pretty valuable. We're talking I have it right here, $7.8 billion worth of domestic crypto ecosystem activity in Iran. It's being suppressed as well. That's, bleeding over into our global market, essentially. Altcoin. We're going to get into all of that, how that is affecting the historical pattern that is repeating itself when it comes to the 2022 situation with Russia. It's repeating itself, Now, I will say this actually highlights, what crypto can do and how it can actually help situations. When you see the flight from everything else into Bitcoin is pretty stagnant right now. It's not really budging. You see the stock market reacting to the news about the Iranian president news. He's basically saying they're willing to talk. I will tell you, the Iranian military is not listening to that guy. They stopped listening to him weeks ago. So, this whole thing is very sensitive. Markets are very sensitive right now when it comes to geopolitics. So we're going to get into that. And we're definitely going to break down the quantum paper that just came out. Why Google is screaming, guys, you need to get ready. Most people aren't even close to being ready when it comes to this. But we're going to get into that as well. So let's go ahead and get into the market news. All right, let's go ahead and go. So when I tell you that this is what we're doing here, no, I'm not joking. Bitcoin, I want you to take a good look at Bitcoin here because it's not moving. It's not moving. Now, you probably can't see that. Let me get it up here. $67,000. Now, Bitcoin is not really playing the manipulative game. Not like it was before, last 4 weeks ago. It was moving to the BS. It was moving to the, the statements that was coming from the White House. It was reacting to that violently. Up, down, up, down. The stock market is still doing that. In fact, let's go ahead and look at that because you see a green stock market here. S&P up almost 200 points. Dow Jones up almost 1,000 points, which is crazy, ridiculously insane. NASDAQ almost up 1,000 points because of what the Iranian president has been saying all morning, right? Not because of what Trump is saying. Mag 7 beaming. This is very dangerous. Futures beaming. This is so dangerous right now because the Iranian military is saying something totally different. Okay. They're saying they're about to take out a lot of the tech industries in that way. We're talking NVIDIA, Tesla, Microsoft, Google, Meta. They're saying they're about to take all of that out April the 1st. If the US doesn't move out, this is going to actually, welcome to the show, Mom. Hope you're doing well. This is actually going to cause what you're seeing here, this pump in the stock market, pump in Mag 7, all these futures in the green. This is going to send this tumbling down if they do what they said they're going to do tomorrow, right? So this is the epitome of manipulation, big time manipulation. You move to the commodities, crude oil, Brent oil, it's still up. Okay, so the oil game, they're not playing that game either. You did see Brent go down almost 3%. Okay. This is decent, but it's still over $100 per barrel. Crude up over $100 per barrel, right? Diesel average well over $5 a gallon. You're seeing ethanol being leaked into the fuel the system as well across the board. People are complaining about diluted fuel. Okay. This is a very serious situation. So all of this is actually really affecting the stock market, commodities, bond market, very heavily. Now, when you pivot back to the cryptocurrency market, you look at Bitcoin, it's still moving at 67. It's up 2% because it was pretty close to 64, but it's not crossing $70,000 because Bitcoin is not being affected by this manipulation, not like it was weeks ago. This is affecting altcoins because you have a flight to safety that's happening with the altcoin sector. We'll briefly go look at the market as a whole here, because this is what you're seeing. Ethereum close to $1,900. You see BNB still hanging around $600. XRP still at $1.34. There's a mass exodus when it comes to the XRP actual holdership on Coinbase because of what's happening with the Clarity Act and what you have with Brian Armstrong being very, very rebellious when it comes to acceptance of the current language. There is a retraction though. There has been some retractions. There has been some new language, a counter effect when it comes to Coinbase and the crypto industry group, which I don't think the banks are going to like. I've saw this already, and the banks are probably going to, take a big dump on that as well. So I don't think we're going to get the Clarity Act. I think we're already past the point of no return. So you're going to have a lot of XRPers taking this out on Coinbase. They're already doing it. Mass exodus. We'll probably get into that. Those numbers. It's crazy. Solana, let's get to Solana, pretty close to $79, guys. So you see these reductive patterns, flight to safety, going into Bitcoin, going into commodities as well. You even see it with the memes as well. Hyperliquid still even at 36, but that perp exchange is heavily attached to oil futures right now. They're doing great. These geopolitics are really helping Hyperliquid, helping that volume on that platform, which is crazy. Not so much for Aster, but moving to Cardano, we may get into what is being actually falling out now when it comes to not only Charles Hoskinson, but Brad Garlinghouse as well. They are sparring. Charles Hoskinson has laid words down that actually very, very heavy words when it comes to what's going on with Ripple and their effects on the Clarity Act and cryptocurrency as well. If you didn't read the language, there's an embedded language, guys, within the current actual markup that basically declares Bitcoin technology immediate securities overnight if it passes. And no one's talking about that. Everybody's talking about the digital asset classifications and how bullish that was, but no one's talking about what Charles is talking about. That particular line, there's a couple lines in this language that basically automatically makes Bitcoins, blockchain technology, the coins, securities essentially, but excludes Ripple, excludes XRP. And this is making a lot of people livid, people who are actually paying attention to this. And we're probably going to play a couple of videos of Charles actually, pointing this out and basically saying, this is not good. This is not good. But everybody's talking about stable coins and Coinbase's effect. And Charles is like, you guys really need to wake up. We'll probably play his video because I don't think a lot of people are listening to Charles Hoskinson, but they will find out if this passes the current bill and Coinbase loses this fight. you're going to wake up and a lot of your blockchain coins are going to be securities. It's pretty sneaky what they're doing. It's crazy. And it's all about the banks. This is what they're doing. So Chainlink, $8. All these altcoins are bleeding. Okay. Even the privacy protocols with Monero, it's down below 400. You have Canton, which is one of the few that are up, along with Leo, Tron, which is crazy. Tron is actually up 31%. So I don't know. Not too sure what's going on there. TRX is actually doing quite well. Well above 24 cents, like it was a couple of years ago. So you see an increasement in value with the TRX coin, which is very strange to me. Very strange to me. So you have Stellar. XLM is doing pretty decent too as well, trying to get back up above 20 cents. Still have a ways to go. Zcash is trying to get back up to $300, and up 12%. Not bad. Not bad for Zcash. I don't understand how they're doing it, but that's not bad. I think that may be the top performer within the last 7 days. I believe so. It's Zcash, up almost 13%, up across the board. So I'm gonna have to do some research on what's going on with Zcash because that thing is in turmoil. But Litecoin, AVAX, Hedera, you have Shiba Inu, which mass exodus there. Sui Chain down below. Sui Chain is getting very close to 80 cents, guys. So that's an interesting reductive pattern with Sui as well, almost down 7%. What the hell happened to Sui? This is crazy. So you have these reductive patterns, and I want to talk about why this, as we zone back into Bitcoin, which is trying to get over 68,000. You have a lot of news I'm going to get to as well, crypto news, but I want to get into why you see these altcoins completely moving in a way that we really don't need them to move, because a lot of portfolios are bleeding. If you're holding Bitcoin, you're loving the stagnation there. Ethereum, it's above 2K. You love that. But you do see Vitalik coming out saying we're doomed. Vitalik has been doomsaying. He's been tweeting a lot of doomsaying activity. This he's selling a lot of ETH too. But Vitalik and Buterin has been very negative when it comes to not only the growth of cryptocurrency, the trajectory of the exposure and the adoption of cryptocurrency, the smart contracts, the actual ecosystems. He's been very bearish because the tone is still meme-ish. This guy he's heading the meme-ish tone still. Very, very destructive nature, as he's been saying when it comes to the pump.fun thing, which is not went away, guys. There's still havoc there. It's not being reported. Not a lot of pump.fun tweets lately, but it's still doing damage, according to Buterin. And this is negative. Now, why is geopolitics so hard on altcoins? Why is there so much blood due to the geopolitics? Why is it crushing crypto right now? Now, these are 4 bullet points that I put together because I want to really dive into why these high beta tokens are being affected. All right, DeFi gaming, which one of the Solana, I think Institute devs are one of the leaders in Solana. I'm not too sure. It's a female, very high ranking female in the Solana. She just took over the gaming sectors of Solana. She said gaming is over. Blockchain gaming is completely toast. I tend to believe her because I don't see that activity, the robust activity there. I see a couple of, gaming platforms, like the one on AVAX chain, Playable Games. They're doing a great job. I don't know what the hell Illuvium is doing. I'm not too sure what that turned into. What's going on, Arthur Meta? Welcome to the show, brother. I'm not sure, but I know Playable Games, those devs, those internal devs, they do their own production. They're doing everything they can do to get that thing together. It's just not a lot of volume towards these gaming platforms on the blockchain situation. There's not a lot of actual marketing. I think you have to have marketing as well. Not a lot of robust marketing, but when it comes to that, when it comes to the geopolitical pressure, this is why you have a lot of high beta tokens. Let's get into this, that are affecting the situation, mostly in a DeFi and gaming coins, getting wrecked. And they're getting wrecked worse than Bitcoin. As you can see, $67,000 Bitcoin. You can see the line here consolidating because that is your actual safety buoy right there. This is it. Bitcoin is a safety margin here for a lot of altcoin holders who are losing money. They're just converting it either to stable coins or going into Bitcoins or tokenized commodities like gold, Paxos Gold. People are doing that, or just getting yield, on Coinbase or whatever you can do in your DeFi applications like Morpho. They're just getting yield. They're going to put their money in a safe spot. BTC dominance is spiking like crazy. And this is what happens. And you see the capital rotate into the from out of the speculative altcoins into BTC, into safe harbors. This is why you're seeing this bleeding so hard. And a lot of this is due to the geopolitics. A lot of this is due to the rhetoric. A lot of this is due to the fear that is being actually displayed in the Middle East. And it's about to get even worse. You did see a tweet that came out from the Iranian president, like I told you before, that sent the stock market beaming, surging upward. But that particular tweet is it's a false narrative, because the Iranian military does not listen to this guy. They are pissed. And what happened in the last couple of days has basically, and we have a huge buildup of American troops with an agenda here. It's about to go left. So you're seeing a lot of the high beta tokens losing a lot of holders to Bitcoin, to commodities, going into those safety harbors, right? The BTC dominance is moving. You do see the altcoin index in the middle, but that is a fictitious barometer at this point in time, as you can see. Because normally if you do see the altcoin season start to put pressure on BTC dominance, you do see that BTC dominance weighing. That's not what I'm saying. It's pretty strong right now. So you also have volume tanking as well. These are the effects of what's going on in the Middle East. Overall, crypto trading volume has plunged as fears grip the market. Risk appetite is gone as well. This leverage has actually wiped out a lot too. You're talking about over $300 million worth of liquidations within the first weekend of March alone. So altcoin pairs are seeing the biggest liquidity drop within these events. And you can see this across. I just showed you the top 25. Barring a couple of anomalies, they're bleeding big time. This is registering. This is why you see the stagnation across the board. This is why your portfolios are looking a little funny. Geopolitics is putting a lot of pressure on altcoins. Okay. Now, it's not even excluded. It's not isolated, within our markets. You also see Iran's crypto market. And yes, they have a crypto market, guys. They had a pretty robust one. That market is in chaos as well. We're talking about over $7.8 billion worth of domestic crypto ecosystems. And you're talking about Iran that are under massive stress right now. This affects our global output and input as well. Internet blockouts. You have exchange restrictions that are going on right now. They have crushed the local Iranian volume by 80%. Okay. That's pretty decent. That's a large amount that's been suppressed right now due to the geopolitics, due to what's going on in that particular area. Now, at the same time, we're seeing spikes in outflow as well and sanctions. So that suppression is real over there. Let's go ahead and round that up. $8 billion Iranian domestic cryptocurrency ecosystem under massive pressure, under massive suppression. Local volume in that area has been crushed up to 80%. So crypto is literally being used as a lifeline in these particular situations, and is being crushed, it's being frozen. So you have to take that into consideration when you're thinking about why the altcoins are bleeding and being crushed right now. Okay. That flight to Bitcoin and commodities is crazy right now. This is why Bitcoin is solid, even though it's under pressure. If this continues, I don't think it'll drop to 50,000. I really don't. I don't see it. I'd see it consolidating hard with a ceiling of $72,000 if the Middle East conflict continues to consolidate. And I'm talking about with the pressures, and we do see a true buildup. Maybe we get boots on the ground. I think that's going to cause Bitcoin to go up even more. I think you're going to see a surge in metals again if we do get boot action. If we do get that invasion going into Cardano Island and going into Iran, which would be dreadful. I don't think we want to do that, but if that happens, you're going to see Bitcoin I think you're going to see a new ceiling around 75,000 if that happens. And unfortunately, altcoins are going to bleed even more. Now, you remember the 2022 situation that happened with Russia, Ukraine, that invasion. This kind of mirrors that, because you had initial panic sell off, and then you had a quick rebound into not only BTC, but metals as well. But this is the thing. You had a prolonged pain. You had prolonged big time, stress in the altcoin markets during that particular situation. You had oil spiking as well. So this is a mirroring effect. We're seeing this happen again, but this is more dramatic. What's going on in the Middle East it's out of control. Major infrastructure has been destroyed. Bases, basically evacuated. Dubai is in disarray. That was not baked in the cake. The Middle East is a linchpin when it comes to the stock market. The markets aboard commodities, a huge linchpin in disarray. Infrastructure destroyed. Okay. I don't think you can just cut the switch off here. We've reached the point of no return. So either there's going to be complete decimation when it comes to Iran or Israel, or everybody moves out. I don't think you can't just cut the switch off. So the mirroring effect, the 2022 effect, I think you could times 10 that. It's going to be way worse than that. And we can see that right now. We're just teetering. A lot of manipulation is going on, especially with the oil markets. But I think oil, I don't think you can manipulate it anymore. I think Donald Trump ran out of those cards, and you can see it. It's over 100, and it doesn't matter what the administration is tweeting on X, on Truth Social. It doesn't matter anymore. Oil is continuing to spike, and I don't think you can bring it down anymore. I don't think there's no amount of manipulation that's going to matter right now. This war has to stop. Infrastructure being destroyed, that has to stop. We're going to have to pull out. The Strait of Hormuz is going to have to continue to start flowing. And once that happens, then I think that's when you're going to see some levelization. And then, obviously we need some regulation. We need the Clarity Act to go through. We need a decent version of it to go through and be passed, right? And that's when we're going to see normality. I don't see that this year. That's the thing. I don't see that happening this year, unfortunately. So currently Bitcoin, $67,000. The market is in flux. As we've been talking about. We'll take a look at the RS. It's at 50. It's in the middle. People don't know what the hell to do. RSI score. I'm sorry. And people don't know what to do right now. Either you're consolidating, either you're going into Bitcoin, or you're holding on for dear life. This is what you're doing right now. And you're just hoping the news gets better. The bombs stop dropping. The markets calm down. Right now, the stock market barometer, don't believe that. It's green. Futures are green. Mag 7 is green. If the bombs drop, and this is what the Iranian military minister, this is what he said, they're going to attack a lot of the tech sectors tomorrow. If, Trump doesn't pull out, if Israel doesn't, if they don't stop, this is what they're going to do. We're talking Google, we're talking Microsoft, we're talking major infrastructure. They're threatening to completely destroy. If this happens, you're going to see a mass crash in the stock market this week. And I'm trying to pull this up because this is crazy what they actually said they were going to do, attack. And I don't even believe this is doable, but if these industries, these tech industries, if they are demolished on April the 1st, this is going to cause a massive slide down. And I don't think any amount of manipulation is going to stop it. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. Now, I'm going to get into a brief Clarity Act report because what Charles Hoskinson actually said should be heard. I think it should be heard. Now, when it comes to his fight with Brad Garlinghouse, with the CEO of Ripple, it's getting pretty ugly. I want to get to this because this is pretty interesting. So Charles has been saying a lot of things. Okay. Now I'm going to read this caption and then we're going to get to what he said because this Clarity Act situation, there's a couple of lines in it that people need to understand. If this passes as is, this is going to affect the market big time. This is going to affect developership. This is going to affect the mini blockchain coins and applications that are out there. This is going to affect it greatly. And you need to understand they're going to become securities overnight after this passes. Now I want you guys to listen to Charles.
Then what's the XRP community do? They say, you are attacking us. You are evil. You didn't back us. Guys, I did support you when you got sued by the Securities Exchange Commission. There's videos of me. You can pull them up from years ago where I said it was the wrong decision. And he said, well, why didn't you give them money or these other things? Because they gave themselves money.
Now, this is a part right here that's pretty hot and heavy. And I know you guys already, I'm finna play it, but I know you guys already have heard this before. But what he is about to say, this is the actual truth. This is what's up.
The Ripple organization gave themselves a mammoth pre-mine. That's a fact. It's like tens of billions of dollars now that they have access to. They didn't need any money. They didn't. They had unlimited money for the rest of time to spend fighting the SEC, just like the EOS people did in 2017 when they gave themselves $4 billion. Your people at the top are well-funded. I didn't give myself 70% of the ADA supply. So it is what it is. What revenue do you think that $1.2 billion prime broker acquisition comes from? What revenue do you think the USDR comes from and all the minting comes from? Where did the cash for that side come from? Are you paying $5 a month in subscription like Netflix and it's coming in? There's a source for that. They didn't need our support. They could fight it. And were they fighting for the industry as a whole? Are they right now with the Clarity Act? No, they're not. But we can't have that conversation. We can't talk about that anymore. We can't. You're just not capable because people's brains are damaged. Years of consumption of social media and cable news and yellow journalism and poor epistemic hygiene has resulted in a population of people that are having trouble critically thinking.
Okay, so I want to play that one first because we're going to get to the other one too as well. Charles is right. Now, a lot of people are saying you're not supporting Ripple, Charles. You're not supporting the movement. You're not supporting the Clarity Act. You got to get behind Brad on this, right? Charles is saying, why would I get behind something that's going to completely wreck the crypto space? Because according to Charles, what we're being fed is the direct opposite of what this language is about to do. He's been saying this for a long time, for months. He literally walked away from the White House months ago because he walked in the room, took a smell of it. It didn't like the way it smelled. Didn't like the energy. And I don't think the guy is ever going to go back. Now, I want to read this a little bit in full context about what he was saying. Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson absolutely destroyed Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse over the new Clarity Act. He claims it's a secret giveaway that makes every new blockchain project a security by default. And he's not lying about this. This is the absolute truth. But I don't see any influencer. All I see, this is the only guy that I see in here talk about that actual fact of the current language. Nobody else is doing. Everybody else is cheerleading the BS, making up things. I'll be nice. Charles is the only one that's basically putting, saying what the hell is really up with this. And I always told you, Brad Garlinghouse, Larson, Ripple, they don't need to be in a room. They got their popcorn. They're sitting back in there enjoying the show because they know they're excluded from this. They already have clarity, right? They have nothing to worry. They have a charter. They're going to be able to take off. This Clarity Act is actually going to boost. I'll be honest with you. This Clarity Act, if passed today, as is, will put Ripple and XRP on steroids. It will send it to the moon. And that's what's up. That's why you don't see a lot of naysaying when it comes to Ripple. They're not really worried about it. They're just eating popcorn right now, sitting back watching the show because they know this Clarity Act is going to send them to the moon. It's pro XRP. It's pro Ripple. And I always think about the Simpsons episode that I saw a couple of years back. And the scene in there that had XRP, like thousands of dollars per coin. It's crazy. Very interesting. So this is a quote. They're trying to pass a bill that completely screws, I'll be nice with this word because it uses the F-bomb, the entire ecosystem while they get protected, unquote. And this is very true. Read it. Don't rely on your influencer to tell you what's in the language. You read it yourself because they're always going to miss the fine print. They're just going to give you the good stuff so you can click and retweet and like and boost their followership. They're not going to give you the stuff that's going to make you mad. Because, let's be honest, like Charles says, a lot of people would rather be lied to than to be told the truth. It is what it is. So Hoskinson is holding Ripple and Brad accountable, and the crypto Twitter is losing. And they really are. This guy's getting so much hate right now because he's the only one that's telling the truth. He's the only one that's telling you the truth. Is Ripple selling out the industry for its own gain? You know, that's to be determined. Now, this is the one I want you to really listen to right here.
Guys like Brad Garlinghouse come by like, well, you know, we just got to have no.
Check this out. And he's on that ass when it comes to Ripple, because Ripple knows this is going to benefit. The language is going to benefit Ripple. This is really crazy. It's a very isolated situation that no one's paying attention to.
And you're a security by default. You have to go beg, borrow, plead, and steal to get your way out of this.
I'm going to play that again because no one's talking about this.
And you're a security by default. You have to go beg, borrow, plead, and steal to get your way out of the security.
By default. I don't think a lot of devs understand what's about to happen. I don't think they do. And I want to play it one more time.
And you're a security by default. You have to go beg, borrow, plead, and steal to get your way out of the security side. It's not a sustainable or good model. And then you got guys like Brad Garlinghouse come by like, well, you know, we just got to have no bad bill instead of just no bill. No, you climbed up the ladder and you pulled the ladder up so no one else can climb up with you. That's not good regulation. That's the same oligarchy and nepotism that we all complained about with the banks. And because you're on the other side of the table, now it's good for you. So fuck all of us in the industry and, you know, all the small guys. We can't have a system where you start as a security by default.
And see, a lot of people don't understand that. This is what's happening. This is what's about to happen. And a lot of devs don't get it. You know, I don't know if it's just, you know, they have their head up their ass. They don't care. They're not reading this language, but they don't get it. And this guy's trying to tell you guys, you're going to be a security by default under this language. And this is why Brian Armstrong is like, guys, I don't think you want this bill. He's trying his hardest to wake people up, and he's just getting excoriated, man. People are leaving Coinbase right now. A lot of XRP is going out the door. People are trying to blacklist and cancel Coinbase. Complete idiots. They don't understand that Brian Armstrong is fighting a good fight, and Hoskinson is trying to tell people, but no one's listening. It's pretty sad.
You'll never get liquidity. You'll never get listing. You'll never accumulate a user base. You can't fundraise. It just is a non-starter unless you're going to change securities law.
All right, I'm going to play this again because a lot of you like marketing and fundraising, things of that nature. Yeah. Play this again.
Because you're on the other side of the table, now it's good for you. So fuck all of us in the industry and, you know, all the small guys. We can't have a system where you start as a security by default. You'll never get liquidity. You'll never get listing. You'll never accumulate a user base. You can't fundraise. It just is a non-starter unless you're going to change securities law. But nobody wanted to change securities law. Then the other thing they did is they didn't want to change securities laws. So you know what they did? They made the CFTC the new SEC. You know, and it's almost like that meme with you know, Steve Buscemi or whatever his name is. He's got like the skateboards, like, hello, fellow kids. You know, like, hello, fellow people. I'm a crypto person now too. The CFTC is not set up to regulate cryptocurrency. So now you have to create a mini SEC in the CFTC because you don't like the SEC.
Yeah, listen, man. With the way this is set up, you have these old entities trying to regulate crypto. It is a recipe for disaster, and no one cares. I'm with you, Charles, man. I hear you, bro, but I don't think anybody's listening to this guy, and it's unfortunate. So it is what it is, man. I want to move back. I'm gonna do a TVO check here, and then I'm gonna get into this Google quantum situation. We're going to get into some bullet points and why you need to know. Google is like, you know what, guys, it may be too late. It's crazy. Let's get into this. So, you know, it is what it is. Everybody's like, no, Charles is just a Ripple hater. Nah, it's not even like, it's so above that. He doesn't even give a damn anymore. He's trying to warn people that, you know, you're about to be a security and you don't even freaking know it. All this beautiful tech you're building, you're going to have to recalibrate. You're going to have to shut it down because what you're doing now, you're not going to be able to do it, you know, after this language is passed. That's going to cause a lot of devs to run. They're going to just shut up shop and they're going to be incognito. You're going to wake up, the TGs are going to be gone. Not all devs. You know, there are going to be some guys that are actually going to have their shit together and they're going to be able to weather the storm and their projects are going to, you know, do great things. J-Lock, what's going on, brother? Welcome to the show, man. Keep it up, man. You're telling the truth. Can't wait for Frame. Absolutely. Yeah. You know, listen, I can't wait either because, you know, I feel like, you know, Brian and the team, they're listening. This is probably why they put this on hold, man. They're going very slow because they're listening. They're kind of going with the flow, and they're waiting on this language because, you know, if you listen to Charles and if you do read the markup, you know, I'm pretty sure Frame is going to be ready for that securities label, and we're going to be able to do some great things. So absolutely. But I would tell you this, there's a lot of devs that are not going to be ready for this. And this is why Charles is like, wake up. You need to wake up, you know, get ready for this, because you're going to fall flat on your face. It's interesting. So moving to the global TVL, because I told you about Iran, over $8 billion worth of ecosystem activity suppressed. That's a lot of money. And that was making up the global market, guys. So once we get that back online, you know, we'll be okay. But when is that going to happen? We don't know. Look at the global TVL. It's kind of like it's not even affected. And this is what's amazing. And this is what really shines when it comes to crypto. It's like crypto's like, look what we can do. Look at your fiat. Look at the dollar's crashing. But look at global TVL and crypto. It's up 0.08%. Now, a lot of you are like, that's not very much, Mike. But listen, the consolidation is very robust. It's not down. $93 billion. In the middle of all of this mayhem, you would think TVL would crater when it comes to decentralized finance. No, it's not. It's actually showing it's being very, very stout. And then you have Bitcoin that's consolidating as well, but we know why. Institutional inflow, flight to safety, a lot of altcoin revenue and volume floating into Bitcoin, into commodities. So we understand Bitcoin's movement, but this TVL is kind of baffling to me to see this, you know. But it's very exciting as well, because crypto is saying, you know what? Even through the storm, this is what we can do. This is what DeFi can do, right? This is what the technology can do. It's very robust right now, and these numbers are pretty exciting. You know, I just want to point that out. A very interesting situation we have here. Now, pivoting back to geopolitics, just a bit. This is crazy. $36 billion in counting when it comes to the war effort. Okay, want to give a little total on human costs. We have 13 unalived U.S. servicemen. Rest in peace, guys. Rest in peace to the souls of the U.S. service members that have perished. 300 wounded. Now, on the Iranian side, it's pretty dramatic. Well over 5,000 Iranians. And again, these are light beings. These are spirits. If you know me deeply, you understand. I go deep with this when it comes to life. Life beings, life spirits, they're on and they're going to be ascending and doing their thing. Rest in peace to those souls as well. They're human beings, regardless. That's how I see it. So they've been on a life. Over 5,000 is crazy. So civilians as well, well over 1,500 civilians. So the Iranian people have been suffering a lot, and across the board in the Middle East, lots of perished beings. It's unfortunate. This is war. A lot of people are being affected, including our U.S. service members as well. This has cost us almost $40 billion already. This is going to affect the markets, guys, going forward. And I just hope it ends very, very quickly. Very quickly. So we're not going to spend any more time on that, because that's very bearish. I'm going to get into some breaking news before we actually get into this Google quantum thing, because this is crazy. This has been the talk of the town amongst devs for the last, weeks? I believe months. And then Google comes out with this emergency paper that is pretty much, I don't know about you guys, but this is pretty scary, because I'm thinking 20 years out. I didn't think this was anywhere close to us, this particular threat. But not to Google's like, wait a minute, guys. We need to share some information with you. We're talking just a couple of years. Are you ready? We're going to get into the nuances of that. We're going to get into the meat and potatoes, as we like to say here down in the South. I'm going to give you some facts, and it's not pretty, guys, when it comes to this quantum cracking. And Bitcoin and ETH are in the crosshairs, big time. Protocols as well, protocol tokens and coins. But the number one and number two, grandpa and grandma, they better get ready for this, because this is crazy. We did get the Clarity Act out. We talked a little bit about the Clarity Act. We showed you a video. Charles Hoskinson is screaming at the top of his lungs about this markup, about this language. And I don't think Brian Armstrong is going to be able to fight this alone. This may go through this month or even early April. And if it does, again, we just heard Charles Hoskinson. This is going to convert a lot of blockchain coins and tokens into securities overnight. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Bitcoin treasury companies, there's going to be some, breaking news. This is 5 hours ago, actually. Bitcoin treasury company sells 20 million BTC at a loss, guys. At a freaking loss. So we have these treasury companies that are selling at a loss right now. Why would they do that? Just think about this. Why would a treasury company sell at a loss right now? 20 million BTC. $20 million, I'm sorry, worth of BTC. This is right in the middle of a stock collapse, guys, after buying well over $118,000 worth of BTC just recently. This is a major treasury company. Why are they doing that now? I want you to think about that. We have some information about a new IRS actual tax form that you may receive, guys, in the mail, which is very interesting. Now, I've talked to several lawyers about this particular, because I knew this was coming. Not crypto lawyers, because I don't believe in crypto lawyers. I don't think they really truly exist. We're going to have some firms that are going to specialize in it, but Burdock Law Firm, I don't think so. I'm not getting tax information for them. I talked to some tax lawyers about this, and not advice. I'm not giving you this advice, guys. Don't take this advice. I'm just telling you what I've heard and how I'm going to play this. And I'm just sharing this information with you, but I'm not telling you to do this. Okay. Do your own research. Talk to your own local tax lawyers about this. But this particular new law, this tax form that probably a lot of you are going to receive, this is going beyond the actual 3-year window of auditation. And I'm just going to say it like that, as I have been actually concentrated on. There's a 3-year window on an audit. Anything beyond that is illegal. Don't fall for the trickery. And I'm going to stop right there. If you want to talk about it privately, let me know. Because I'll be sharing, I'm going to put a whole new video out for my member group, for you members, on this whole subject, because you need to know this. And I'm going to give you some factual data so you don't get tricked, because this is BS what they're doing. And if you submit anything right now, you're just red flagging yourself. And I'm going to stop right there. Remember, 3-year audit window on every return. A lot of people don't understand that. But that is the law of the land. Anything beyond that is illegal. This is why we need lawyers. A lot of people hate lawyers. This is why we need lawyers to give us this information, because I don't know about you, but I don't have 1,000 book case study books in my home. So I can't just go grab a lawyer or a case study and look these things up. This is why we need these lawyers. It is what it is. Now, the treasury companies that are selling Bitcoin at a loss, that's very alarming to me. But we'll push a little bit. Bitcoin has survived new major liquidity test today at 2.2 billion, hits the market on top of pressure. And I told you guys, this headline, this is why there's a rotation from altcoins into Bitcoin. There's a rotation. There's a flight to safety that's happening right now, because it is not all good in Iran. And I don't think it's going to be that good. They're talking about a 2-month schedule for boots on the ground. You're going to see a flight to safety like you've never seen it before. Lots of alts are going to rotate into Bitcoin, and ETH as well. And other commodities too as well. I see a lot of rotations into the tokenized gold. I've been watching that. That's very interesting. So I think that's about it for this. We talked about Ripple, the push for private blockchains in banks. I think a lot of banks are going to actually build their own chains. I believe that's ongoing, just like JP Morgan did the last 4 years. So I think once we do get the Clarity Act, you're going to see a lot of private permission blockchains just pop up out of nowhere within the banking sectors. They're ahead of the game. They're just waiting on the FDIC. And I always tell you guys, the banks are waiting on the FDIC to give them the go. Are they going to cover these crypto? Are they going to give a level of protection for their account holders when it comes to cryptocurrency? The FDIC currently says no. So we'll see how that goes. I think you may have to erect an entity of its own. I don't think the FDIC is ever going to cover crypto deposits, guys. So I think either the banks are going to have to erect their own coverage. Coinbase is going to have to erect their own coverage. Some form of entity other than the FDIC is going to have to be built and erected to take the place of these or to back up these accounts, crypto accounts. that are going to be coming in the future, very near future. It's not going to be the FDIC because I don't even think they have the bandwidth for it, let alone the cash and the infrastructure. And they're very fearful of it. So we're going to stop there because a lot of this is day old news, but I want to get to this because this is crazy news right here. Now, we're talking about Google slashes quantum cracking estimates by 20x, creating $600 billion countdown for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, Google used zero knowledge proofs to actually verify quantum attack estimates, which is very interesting, without exposing underlying attack circuits. Now, we're going to get into the nuances of it because this is what's up with this, guys. Now, I don't know if you want to take notes, but this is what's up. Now, these are the bullet points that the actual paper, and I think I actually put the actual link to the paper. It's all over X too. You can probably find this paper, but they just released this. I'm sorry. Very, very scary paper. Now, they're calling it safeguarding cryptocurrency by disclosing quantum vulnerabilities and the responsibilities, unquote. Now, the quantum computer could break Bitcoin and Ethereum's encryption sooner than anyone thought. We're talking about 20 times fewer qubits than previously estimated. So the revision is very dramatic when you really think about what's going on here with this new paper when it comes to quantum computing in the actual threats. Now, the one thing that this is what when I first, was introduced to this, I'm like, why? It's beautiful tech. Here's the thing. I struggle getting this out, but you have this beautiful technology, this breakthrough. And the only thing that people are concerned about is, it cracking a Bitcoin shell, cracking Ethereum shell, stealing crypto. It's so negative. There's so much positive that's going to come out of this tech, but we seem to be just worried about if it's going to crack Satoshi's wallet. It's very interesting to me, what everybody's focused on, but it's legit. It's a legitimate, situation that we're talking about because God forbid Satoshi's wallet gets cracked. Can you imagine what that would do to Bitcoin? Can you imagine all that being sold on the market? It would be catastrophic. Will it break Bitcoin? I don't even want to get there to that point to see if it does or not. Hopefully we don't even get to that point, but that would be catastrophic. Okay, so here's some bullet points. Now, you're talking about the actual revelations within this paper. Qubit, count crushed. Now, cracking the and this isn't going to be technical, but just follow me here. Cracking the 256-bit elliptic curve cryptography, ECDSA. This is going to be the acronym for this. This is what basically secures 99% of the crypto wallets you now actually see, which is under, the revision is under 500,000 physical qubits needed compared to what was, needed, which fell from around 1 million, I believe. This is a quote last year, 1 million needed. So we're cutting that in half. This is what the paper cut it in half. So we're talking just 500,000 qubits, physical qubits that are needed. That's a dramatic reduction in protection. So these quantum computing, this it's going to be way more powerful than we've even thought, which is not all that bad. It's bad for crypto. So the attack speed is insane. Now, check this out. A real-time on-spin attack could hijack your transaction in the meme pool in just 9 minutes. This is what's said in this paper. This is going to be faster than the actual block time of Bitcoin, which is around 10 minutes. So not only the wall has been decreased, the physical wall has been decreased in half, that protection. The actual speed of attack has been actually increased too. It's down 1 minute, which you're probably thinking is just 1 minute. That's significant. Okay. They calculate a 41% successful chance of in-flight BTC transfers. So what they're saying is the calculated success rate has been increased when it comes to the successful nature of these meme pool attacks. This is very interesting and very scary as well. Now, massive exposure. We already have 6.9 million BTC sitting in vulnerable addresses across the board that are going to be in the crosshairs of this increased attack. Okay, including 1.7 million from the actual Satoshi wallet in question there. This is not good, guys. Now, Ethereum is not out of the crosshairs as well. They're in the crosshairs too as well. Now, Ethereum has 5 separate quantum attack vectors, putting over $100 billion worth of ETH at risk. That's deeper exposure. That's way deeper than Bitcoin, guys. Because of the smart, this is why, it's because of the smart contracts and the more advanced primitive, situations that exist with these. So this is why a lot of ETH maxes are like, guys, why are you waiting so late to upgrade ETH? We need these updates now. So, that explains a lot of the grumbling. Maybe these maxes knew what was coming. I don't know. Don't look good for either of the two. Grandma and grandpa is what I like to call Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is deep, guys. Now, at rest, you have wallets that have never moved these particular coins. And we're talking Bitcoin and ETH. We're talking about those OG wallets that have just been sitting, whether the keys have been lost, which I think that's the case. When you have these wallets that are at rest, unquote, I think the keys are lost. These people may have perished. They may be unalived, right? A lot of these wallets, they've never moved a single coin. They're just dormant. These are the actual wallets that are sitting ducks, according to the paper, that are in store for decryption later. That's crazy, guys, because if you look at these wallets, there are a bunch of them. We're talking over 7 million BTC sitting in these vulnerable addresses, okay? Sitting ducks, just waiting to be attacked. This is what we're talking. This paper is crazy. So the deadline actually increased as well. So this is Google's deadline revised. Okay. The revision here on the deadline. They're accelerating their full migration to post-quantum cryptography, PQC, across all services. And the deadline is going to be 2029. So they're basically recommending every industry, including in the government, to do the same. So including, and they're recommending all the devs to get it done. Now, I don't think a lot of devs are going to be able to do this by 2029. You may have some. I know the Frame network, Frame IP, supposedly they have that, in the bucket. Great. That's the case. Hand clap to Frame, because you're going to need to have this done by 2029, because this threat is on steroids right now. According to the paper, the quantum threat is on steroids. Google has been doing extensive work on this. They're saying it's not 20 years from now. It's just a couple of years down the road. Are you ready? This is very interesting. All right. So this isn't sci-fi anymore. This is from the Google tanker. Google Quantum AI built the actual hardware that ran the numbers. So this is AI that's actually running these numbers, hardcore numbers. I don't know if it's Gemini. That's interesting. I wonder if it's Gemini doing this. I don't know. It may be something that hasn't been put out yet. Some internal AI hardware that's actually crunching these numbers. But it seems to be the revision is dramatic, guys, from what I seen 6 to 8 months ago. Now they're saying they actually held back a lot of the sensitive details to avoid giving bad actors a roadmap. So this is the most scary part about it. They held back a lot of information. A lot of scary information, just to prevent a lot of the bad actors from actually getting ahead of the game. So what is that information? I would love to know what they held back, because it's already pretty scary as it is with these, what has came out of this paper. They're basically saying they actually held back the really scary shit. This is interesting, man. I want to know what you guys think about this, man. So here's the bottom line. Altcoins are already bleeding from the war, but this quantum threat reveals that this long-term black swan, which is what this is going to be, one of the mothers of all black swans, that it could make every unupgraded wallet obsolete. Bitcoin is debating Terrapool upgrades. They do have a Bitcoin proposal. I'm sorry, I'm talking too fast. There is a Bitcoin improvement proposal, all right, that's on the docket right now. They're trying to roll back a lot of inscriptions, a lot of the bloating that went on with the BRC20 upgrades and all that good stuff. All the image and the data that expanded and bloated the transactions. They're trying to roll all that back. And then they have the Taproot upgrades too. They're debating the Taproot upgrades. Bitcoin better get it together real quick. Ethereum is moving faster as well with PAQ, post-quantum cryptography, and chains like XRP, Ledger, and Solana are already testing post-quantum signatures as well. So the clock is ticking when it comes to this. So are you ready? Is your tech ready? This is a question, because it's post-quantum cryptography. You need to get that in place, because Google is talking about 2029. And if you're not ready, it's a wrap. If Bitcoin is not ready, if ETH is not ready, it's a wrap. A lot of these guys are ready to go once they get their hands on this. And what's scary, Google is basically coming out and saying they're held back a lot of the information because they're still trying to decipher, because there's AI involved. I mean, there may be a level of hallucination that is, has been embedded into these equations, into these outputs. We know AI does hallucinate. So I guess we could actually, hope for that a lot of this report is hallucination. I hope so, because, if you read it, you're like, oh my God, the majority of the space, the majority of the tech is not ready for this. And that includes Bitcoin as well. So, let me know what you think about that, guys. It's pretty interesting what's going on now. So as I look back, we're looking at the stock market. We're about to close the show here, and we're about to get the member giveaway out too as well. We do the memory giveaway every week. Hope you guys enjoy the short. We're going to be getting 2 videos out. I'm going to do a crypto tax video for you members this week. You guys, some things you need to know. And I'm going to put it in a member video because I think it's proper to put it in that. J-Lock says, my guess is that many of the top 50 and a few forward-thinking others will survive, but everyone else will be in trouble. I think you're right. There's a lot of devs that are really not looking to, quantum proof their attack, their chains, in their wallet infrastructures, their DeFi. Decentralized applications are going to be very vulnerable, especially the bridges. Oh my God. We'll see. We'll see. Stock market, Dow Jones is over 1,000, guys. This is very dangerous what I'm saying with the stock market, because a lot of the news coming out, the main actual catalyst for this stock market pump was the Iranian president's tweet, basically saying we're willing to talk if the demands are met. And we know that there are a lot of demands that they've sent to the White House. They're non-starters. Trump is not going to go for that shit. So this pump is going to be really hard to watch, because this is going to come down so hard. You're looking at these futures. This is going to come down. So Nikkei is futures is up almost 2,000 points. This is going to be very hard to watch going into the latter part of the week, guys. This is going to suck for a lot of people who are buying into these stocks. And I know a lot of this shit is like algorithmic. You have a lot of algorithmic traders that are doing this buying and selling. I think 10% of this is like organic, but this is not good. This is not good. And if you look at what Bitcoin is doing, you see the stocks that are going crazy right now. Look at Bitcoin. It's not moving. It's not running parallel. It's just staying put. It's consolidating at 67,000. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Smart money already knows. They're not buying this news. They're not buying the manipulation. Unfortunately, a lot of people are, because if you look at the stock market, it's crazy pumping right now. Max 7, crazy pumping right now. And the Iranian military minister basically said tomorrow they're going to nuke. Let me say that back. I'm sorry, guys. I just immediately use that word. They're going to bomb every technical industry in the region, including Tesla, Nvidia, Microsoft, Google, Meta. This is the threat. Okay, so let's just pray. Let's send good energy, good vibes over there, that none of that happens, because if they start sending those missiles, those Fatatus and those drones, and they start knocking out Nvidia tech, Microsoft tech, Tesla tech, Google tech, Meta tech, start hitting those data centers, this thing is going to go. This is not going to be a good thing to watch. It's going to be very, very hard to watch. So, and again, you see Bitcoin just consolidating. No hard pumping here, because Bitcoin and the money that's flowing into Bitcoin understands what's going on with the stock market. It's a bunch of BS, false narrative, false barometer. Gas is going here. Look at the. Let me get this here before we get to the giveaway. Look at oil. WT, well over 100. Brent oil, well over 100. If this stock market pump was legit, do you think oil would be over $100 right now? So I'll just leave it at that. It's getting crazy out there. Let's go ahead and get into the actual video here. Tile and Monad, let's go. Yeah, listen, Monad. You know what? Speaking of Monad, I'll get to Monad. The TVO, still even. Monad's TVL is actually going up, which is crazy. Monad is one of the most outperforming. This thing is overachieving every L1 right now. In the midst of all this volatility, stablecoin market cap is up 14%. This decentralized finance infrastructure that Monad has constructed here is proven to be a big time mover. Big time. $500 million, just almost $500 million TVL locked just in 5.5 months of its lifespan. Pretty phenomenal. Pretty freaking phenomenal, guys. You look at this price point. Before we get to the video, I want to up 8% within the last 24 hours. What's going on with Monad? Something very special is going on with Monad. Okay, I'm in love with a lot of tech, but this one is very impressive. This is very impressive. I'm sorry. It's very impressive what's going on with Monad here. A little over 5 months. I don't even think it's 6 months old. Was launched right in the middle of a bloodbath. Up 5%. Up 8%, going on 9% within the last 24 hours. Well above launch price. This is very, very interesting what's going on with this layer 1. Custom built. Doing great things, guys. Robust infrastructure as well. Robust. I'm going to be doing an update on this as well because I absolutely love Monad as well as others as well. But this one right here is just bonkers. What's going on with Monad? Absolutely bonkers. So we're going to get this. I'm going to do a double check on the giveaway wheel, and I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Just give me a second, guys. Let me do a double check. Okay, so I did miss Sarta and Meta, and I missed Raul. So let me get these members on the wheel so I don't miss anybody. Get you guys on the wheel, and then we're going to spin this puppy so we can give some soul away. We're going to get 3 winners here today, and I think we're good. So we got Raul and Sarta Meta. Let me go ahead and refresh this and we'll get this going. Let's go. All right, so I think it's going to be Bebo in crypto. Yeah, I think this is the first time I've seen Bebo in crypto 111 on the wheel as a winner. So congratulations, man. We need 2 more. Carlos, you almost won that, bro. So our first winner is going to be Bebo. Let's go. We need 2 more. And I'm going to call Logan G910. Suzu is really coming up really quick. So we got Logan G910. Absolutely. I like seeing new winners. I like seeing the new winners. This is really, really cool. So one more. Let's see what we got. Sorry, the Meta, I think you just out of, it's between you and Raul. Let's see who wins. Jay, you almost won that, bro. Sarth Meta, I think it is. Sarth Meta 2446 is going to be the 3rd winner. That was a very close one between Jay and Sar Meta. That was really close. So we have 3 winners. Let's go ahead and get this list out. Bebo in crypto 111, you are the first winner, and I think there it goes. I'm gonna have some difficulties with my content. Bebo in crypto 111. You are the first winner. And we have Logan G 910. You're gonna be the 2nd winner. And clap to you. And then to round up, Sarth Meta 2446. Congratulations to all 3. All I need is that soul address. You guys know how to hit me up. I just need that soul address, man, so we can get those that cash to you. We're giving out soul. And I always tell you guys, if you want to switch to another coin, or if you want, we can switch to USDC as well if you just want that. you know, you don't want your winnings to fluctuate because the market is fluctuating. Let me know if you want stable coins, guys, as a reward, because we're going to be going into a very volatile season here. You know, these quarters coming up, they're going to be pretty turbulent. So if you want stable coins as a reward, so you can you know, keep your value during these, you know, especially if you're holding your rewards, they're going to fluctuate. So if you want to switch to USDC, let me know, because we can definitely do that as well, just in case you're holding those things. All right. So with that being said, I don't see anything that's like really, you know, popping up here. I think we covered pretty much the bulk of it. Not a lot. Well, I did tell you about the mass exodus when it comes to XRP holders on Coinbase. A lot of people are moving their XRP off of Coinbase. It's very unfortunate that Coinbase is catching heat. They're just trying to really help us out, guys. But you have a lot of hatred for Coinbase, unfortunately, and people aren't understanding that. I'm not gonna say XRP is the bad guys, and I want you to know that Brian is fighting a good fight, but we shall see. We don't want that actual markup that I told you about earlier to actually go through. We don't want that. And I want to give you some breaking news, because we talked about the threat that is above Mag 7 and a lot of intel, you know, companies in the Middle East. I want to put this in your ear before we get out of here, because this is something that we do not want to happen. I guarantee you don't want this to happen. Now, this is breaking, and I told you this is broke way earlier, but a lot of people are really starting to get this out, because just listen to this. This is what's happening here. This is what's on slate overnight. If we don't pull out, essentially, they want a massive pullout of American troops off the bases. Now, Iran has called all employees of Google, Nvidia, Apple, IBM, Tesla, Intel, and Cisco to leave the companies by 8 p.m. Tehran time on Wednesday, guys. This is no joke. Those are some major tech companies that are set up largely in the Middle East. The IRGC has threatened America's top big tech companies in the region, including Google, Nvidia, Apple, IBM, Tesla, Intel, Cisco, etc., accusing them of being abaters, okay, in the American and Israel aggression against the country. This is significant, guys. And you know, I'll leave with this. We don't want this smoke. This is the last thing we need, is those particular sectors over there to be destroyed, because we already have infrastructure, you know, refineries and things of that nature, human life loss. If those sectors get hit, if they destroy those sectors, you know, the actual pump that I told you guys that is happening, the fictitious, you know, pump that's happening in the stock market right now, it's really dramatic. All of that can go to ruins overnight, within hours, if they start firing off those missiles towards the tech that exists in the Middle East. So we need to pray. We need to send some good vibes, and we need to put it in the ether that we don't want that, because if they do fire off those missiles, if they take out Apple, Microsoft, IBM, Cisco, it's a wrap for the stock market. It's going down. So let me know what you think about it. And if you need some more, information about that crypto tax form, hit me up in the DM. I'm going to make a member video. So if you're not a member, be sure and get your membership, because we're going to go into this tax thing, and I want to share some information with you that you're not getting online. Okay. Have a good one. We'll catch you later.